Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with...
Until I Wake, Cody.
Ryan.
August.
Nice. And we were just talking about, we've done this before, and we're glad to have you here at Welcome to Rockville. Is this your first time at Welcome to Rockville?
This is my first time at Welcome to Rockville. The other guys were here last year, I believe, with the other vocalist that came after me, but now I'm back, so...
Let's go. Do you want to tell that story? Because that's pretty funny. Came after me, now I'm back, and here we are.
Yeah, so I was the original vocalist, and then I got kicked out of the band because I was being an asshole.
Well, at least you admit it.
Yeah, I could see my faults.
Dave still can't admit he was an asshole back in the 80s with certain people.
Yeah.
We know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I just had to fix some personal issues I was having, and I did just that. And I had another guy who I also know named Jolly. He's also from our area in Buffalo, and they did an album with him. It was a cool album, but he has a young son at home, and he decided that touring wasn't the best thing for him to be doing right now. He wanted to spend some time with his son, so I had a conversation with the boys here, and I came back, and now we're better than ever.
Nice. And I want to hear from you guys how you feel about having them back.
Yeah, so it's been exciting. It's like we're the original lineup of the band all over again.
But no assholes.
No assholes. 5 years later, we all got our shit together, figured it out. Everybody's got their heads in the same spots. All just want to do the damn thing, make some rock music, and play some cool-ass shows.
Love it.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, probably most bands, we just experienced everything at once, the alcohol, the partying, the fun, all that stuff. And it'll get the best of you sometimes if you're not too careful. With all that in the past, we're all in much better places now and happier. And just, it feels refreshing. Oddly, just very refreshing to be the 4 core members again.
I love it. And it feels new, even though it's not new.
It definitely feels new again. Feels fresh.
And you need that, because if you don't feel that newness, I think being a musician's a really tough job.
Dude, everybody knows this original 4-piece lineup between August, myself, Cody, and Alex. That's the Until I Wake that the fans fell in love with, the day ones.
There you go.
The music that we wrote that popped off, that they seen go viral on TikTok, that they heard on Octane, all over the radio stations, on their streaming apps and all that stuff, but still our top streaming music. So it's cool to bring it back to them in the raw live setting where they could hear Cody playing those songs that they fell in love with, that they found us playing and writing and all that stuff. So it's just, like you said, it's new, but it's like reigniting things. It's fresh and new, but same old awesome 4 original band members.
I love it, because it is tough when you're a band and you go through changes and how the fans react to it. And we have one of the headliners here at Welcome to Rockville that's going through that right now. And people can be real assholes. I just don't get the whiny, complainy people. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's it. You don't need to make comments or whatever. But it's also good to get that energy back. Like your old school fans will be like, fuck yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess because I'm friends with Justin, the previous vocalist, but he was getting some hate from our core fans when he took over, and I guess a fan had spit on him even, and I had to address our fans and be like, guys, look, I know you guys want me back. At that time, it wasn't even a thing that was going to happen yet, and I was like, just don't go spit at the guy. Be nice to him. He's up there doing what he loves to do. So, yeah, he definitely got some hate, which he didn't deserve, but we just got off a Europe tour, and we're on a tour with the Mice and Men right now, and we did a couple with Beartooth, and at every show, just tons of people coming up to me telling me that they're so glad I'm back, and it's very welcoming and heartwarming. So if you're listening to this and you're a fan who's happy I'm back, thank you guys.
Makes all the bullshit you went through worthwhile, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to commend you, take my hat off to you, even though I'm the only one here not wearing a hat. But, that you stood up and said something, because not everybody would. They would not. You certainly didn't hear people like Paul Di'Anno talking about Bruce like that, or anybody else. So that says a lot about you.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of real negative feelings I had towards anybody or bad blood. Obviously, it was a bummer what had happened, but I knew the reason that it happened was pretty much my fault, and that I needed to work on some things for myself that only I could fix. I couldn't really be mad at anybody else.
What great attitude.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it is true. Okay, listen, as somebody that was a teenager in the 80s Sunset Strip scene, I know exactly what you were saying. Because there's some fucked up shit from back in those days. And I think we were all assholes, to be honest, and very high assholes.
Yeah. Goggins said the partying gets the best of us, but we were definitely not partying as hard as they were partying in the 80s.
Oh, my God. You know what they say? If you can remember the 80s, you weren't there.
And none of us were there, unfortunately.
I know, right?
It'd be a fly on the wall, dude, just watching all this go down, all this chaos.
Oh, my God. So I was at the party when Vince took off on that beer run with Razzle.
Oh, man. Yeah,
that's one
movies.
Experience.
We saw
right?
Movie. Yeah, that's terrible.
I remember standing at the Troubadour with Nikki Sixx and Eddie Van Halen and girls walking by and they'd be like, slut, whore, bitch.
My God.
And then those girls would want to sleep with them.
Oh, man. No, we're nice boys. We don't do that.
And then, when you're like 15, 16-year-old boy and you're at all the like Motley Crue parties, Metallica parties after their shows, man, you'll take the overflow, man. Like, they can't handle all the chicks. Yeah. And they can't handle all the drugs either. I used to go out after sometimes. You go to a gig, you go to the band's house all night long, and then I'd be picking up my friends out of the bushes in the morning, like it's time to go.
Like a movie.
Oh, totally. That movie is pretty right. It's pretty spot on of the debauchery that happened then.
That's rock and roll.
And it's funny now, like, you guys know this, people they'll say to me, like, hey, can you bring me backstage? I'm like, it's really not that cool. No. Nobody's doing anything.
We're just sitting there.
It's not the 80s.
No.
I remember I was sitting with Rob from Godsmack backstage and we were showing each other pictures of our kids on iPhones. I'm like, how funny is this shit? Because back in the day, it was just, you were lucky you were alive or walking. And it is cool to see bands taking it more seriously now.
Yeah.
For one big reason that I witnessed, the record labels cannot fuck you over as easily because you're not out of your fucking mind and they're taking everything.
And marketing yourself with social media nowadays is, you don't really need a label to do all that marketing and promotion for you anymore. You just do it yourself.
Exactly. And then you could do it your way. That was one thing that always bothered me is like being backstage, watching the record labels telling bands, you're going to dress like this, you're going to play. It made me leave the scene. Like I left the music world because of it. And I wanted to be in it. And I sang thrash metal. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
It's great that you guys are in a good place now. And you're in this environment that we live now where you can do it and enjoy it for the long term. What do you got going on after Welcome to Rockville?
We're going to finish up Mice and Men tour we're on. Last show is on the 24th. We have a tour that I don't think is announced yet coming up in the fall.
Ooh.
And between that, I know we'd all really like to go work on some new singles with me now that I'm back. Because guys, they just put out a new album in December. Typically, it's a 2-year album cycle, but given that they put out that album and then there was a vocalist change again, we feel it's necessary now. We have to go back and make some more music. That's top on my priority list, is going to make some fresh new jams that top our old ones with me back on the helm. So
I love it. I love it. What do you guys want to add to that?
So we got Incarceration Fest.
Can't wait for that.
That's going to be fun.
Oh my God, I love Ink. It's your first at Ink.
First time there, yeah.
Oh my God, like,
excited.
I love that festival because it's Shawshank Prison.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys will be like, you didn't know that? Yeah, it's Shawshank Prison. And there's a prison tour, okay? There's pictures of me taking a shit in a prison cell. And it's cool because I've been telling people, other bands that are playing there. So my youngest daughter, she's always calling me before a festival, which is every week. And she's like, oh, so are you excited for this festival? I'm like, I don't know if excited's a word. I love doing it. But if you've done doing it every week, it's not really exciting. But I got to, first time I did Ink like years ago, I called her up from the prison yard. I'm like, I'm calling you from the prison yard at Shawshank. And then I'm like, I'm taking pictures. There's this other band dude taking pictures. And he goes, hey, can you take my picture? I'll take yours. He's like, look at us. We're fanboying out on Shawshank Prison. And it is definitely. And then inmates. There's another prison right next door, the new prison. You guys will be like Johnny Cash. The inmates will be out in the yard checking out the music. So there you
See
go.
real life inmates?
If they're out in the yard, you definitely will. Yeah, they're like
It's
right
even
next
more
door.
exciting.
Right? There's a place inside the prison that has a window directly to the other prison yard, and there's a sign there that says, "Take a picture, felony, 5 years in prison."
What, for a picture?
Because if you take a picture, you might be planning somebody's escape.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
It's also a haunted prison. Did you know that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
So-
It was probably in like our top 5 of festivals we've ever wanted to play. And I know for myself personally, Shiprocked is one.
I was just on Shiprock. That was badass.
Yeah, Shiprock seems pretty cool. But yeah, we heard about some of the history behind incarceration and the prison and all that stuff. And we were mentioning earlier, we had that rock star phase, that party phase. And now when we were over in Europe, it was about history. We're all going like sightseeing, like checking out this was built in 1137, like these cathedrals and all that. So now we're going to play in this like historic prison and shit. So I think it's going to start to be more of a sightseeing thing and play the damn music. Yeah, we're old. we're old now.
You know what, though? You have to sightsee it. It totally is sightseeing.
Yeah.
And like I've heard some weird stories. Like Waylon Revis told me, like he was in one of the torture rooms, and he said he was like getting cut up or some shit like that.
Oh.
And it was recording a video in there, and it was like bad shit. Me, on the other hand, I go there, and while people are on the tour, I have my person like, okay, we're going to film some TikToks here of me scaring the shit out of people. And I'd hide like in the wall. People come around for a tour and I'd fucking jump out.
Oh.
So, yeah, we can have a lot of fun at Ink.
Yeah, it'll be sick.
It will. And tell everybody how they can reach out to you on socials, on the web, and buy your merch, most importantly, because that's the only way bands survive today.
So we're on every major social media platform. You can follow us on Instagram, Until I Wake, Facebook, Until I Wake, X, Until I Wake. What am I missing here? I think that's all the major ones. TikTok, Until I Wake. Sorry, I don't use TikTok. I use it.
People that have
Yeah.
I Wake.
So every major, thing, Spotify, YouTube, just search Until I Wake. We're there. Come see us at a show if you want to buy some merch, or go on our website, untilIwake.com, buy some merch that way. Any way that you could support us, we appreciate it. It's easy. Just Google Until I Wake. You guys know how to find stuff on the internet. You guys are savvy. If you're listening to this, Until I Wake, look it up.
Nice. Any final words you guys want to give to listeners?
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me back, and we'll see you out there. We better see you at a show.
I have nothing else. That's it.
All right. That's all she wrote. We love it. And we love that you're here at Welcome to Rockville. Can't wait to see you also at Ink and everywhere else. Totally pumped about the new music coming out. And everybody has to watch their socials and look out for that new music and everything else going on. Thanks for being here at Welcome to Rockville, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.